guys, welcome back to another Gimpys Gal Guesses. It's been a very long time. In fact, I cannot remember the last guesses that I filmed since March. You know, those of you who have been around for a while, we just had our fourth child in March, a little girl, Kennedy, and so life's been a little crazy since then. School started back up for us. I homeschool my oldest. My other ones are not old enough yet to start school, but my oldest is. So we've been homeschooling him now for a few weeks. So since we've been back into school, this is our first year with an official homeschool registered with our state. So that's kind of cool because we're like official, but things have been crazy. So I haven't had the chance to do a guesses. I know there's been a couple that Gimpy has wanted me to film, and for one reason or another, I just am not able to sit down. And I'm going to be real with you guys. In the evenings, when the kids are all finally in bed, which our oldest doesn't actually go to bed when the other ones go to bed, but when everyone's settled, I like to have time to myself to watch some shows and not have to be doing for anyone. And so I just like to sit and relax and watch my shows or whatever. And so I haven't had a chance or haven't had the energy or whatever you want to call it to sit down. But here I am doing a Gimpys Gal Guesses for you guys. Gimpy's with the kids right now, trying to keep them quiet because with 4 little ones, that's a full-time job. So he's with them. So we're going to jump into this. This is a Compass Games game. It is the Pacific 1941 to 1945. It is brand new, so it's not even been opened out of the wrapping yet. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. If you're not subscribed and you enjoy Gimpy's videos or you enjoy the Gimpys Gal Guesses series on this channel, then make sure you subscribe. It takes like 5 seconds. So you can see, watch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See how easy that is to subscribe, and it helps him out a ton. And then at the end of this video, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Whatever floats your boat. But this is a Compass Games game. The war, it's just the war, and then the Pacific, 1941 to 45. This is the front of the box. I should make like a character for my guesses and like get in character when I do these to make them a little more fun and spicy. Like every now and then I'll have a little character like a Russian woman who will come on and do the guesses. That's a horrible Russian accent. But this is the box. Here's the back of the box. So we have example of what's inside of here. Box contents. We have 2 map sheets combining to 49.725 inches by 38.625 inches. 10 sheets of 5/8 of an inch counters. 120-page booklet of rules, a 35-page full-color displays and player aid cards, 40-page booklet of scenarios, 32, is it scenarios or scenarios? Which do you say? Potato, scenario, which do you say? 32-page booklet of examples and designer's notes, 40-page booklet of charts, tables, and worksheets, 106 variant playing cards, and 2 dice. So that's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of paper stuff. And then we have game design, Ernest Copley, development, Joe Pilkus, graphics and layout, Mark Mahaffey, and compass package design, Brian Miller. The complexity is high with an 8 out of 10. The time scale is 3 months per turn. So if you've been around for a while, I don't remember which one it was. There was a game I guessed way like years ago, and it said time scale, and it's like 2 years per turn or something like that. And I remember sitting here going like, it takes them 2 years to make one turn. Like my mind was blown and I wasn't realizing what it was saying when it said 3 months per turn. I was thinking like, it takes you 3 months to play one turn. Like that's how stupid I was ignorant I was in the beginning. But I now know. So 3 months is what a turn is supposed to be in the game and game time. The map scale is 100 miles per hex. I about said hue. Unit scale, it says fleets, task forces, divisions, and corps, army, and air wings. Number of players is 2 to 4. Suitability for solitaire is good. So I guess it can also be 1 to 4, but maybe you have to have an auto person playing as a second. So like it says 2 to 4 players, but it says you can play at solitaire. So what that makes me think is that there's something in here that will play the other side for you. So it's still 2 players, but you're playing against like an auto played, whatever. Average time to play, 1 to 30 plus hour scenarios. So I guess it depends on what kind of scenario you want, on if it's an hour or if it's 30 plus. And it's recommended for 14 and up. So yeah, that's the back of the box. We already saw the front of the box, which I really love this here. And I'm going to say this because I would feel wrong not to. You know, Gimpy is a Marine veteran. If you don't know, now you know. He's a wounded Marine veteran. He was in Iraq in 2003 and in 2005. Lots of our friends served. Lots of our family was in. So obviously military stuff is very near and dear to us, as is a lot of you guys, a lot of our viewers. A lot of these companies have a lot of veterans affiliated with them, or they are veterans. So if you're a veteran and you're watching, thank you. But you're probably going to be understanding of what I'm about to mention. But this picture here is when they raised the flag. I think it was at Iwo Jima, right? If I'm wrong, Gimpy's going to shoot me, but I'm like 90% sure that's where this was. No, this wasn't at Iwo Jima. This was the raising of the flag. Was it? Why am I brain farting now that I can't remember where this was? But it was Marines raising the flag. I'm saying Normandy, but was it the Norm? No, I don't know. Now I'm questioning myself. I knew and now I don't, but I'm pretty sure it was Iwo Jima. But anyways, regardless, this is a very famous picture. I'm sure all of you have seen it, the veteran or not. You've seen this picture. You know what this is a symbol of. It's a very prominent symbol, especially for the Marines. And with everything happening in Afghanistan, I'm not going to go too much into it, but there was a picture of them doing that to mock this. And so this image right now like fills me with rage because of what they did to mock this image, but also like breaks my heart and also fills me with pride at the same time because the flag means so much. Like these men like risked their lives to raise this flag up as a symbol. And then it's just so heartbreaking. It's just, I don't even want to get into it. I think Gimpy and I have talked about starting a channel where we do discussion videos and we just talk and we cover different variety of things, whether it's, you know, conspiracy theories or, you know, news things that are happening in the world today, current events or paranormal things. So kind of a little bit of everything. And if we do that, this will probably be the topic. I'm sure of one of them, but I just had to mention that my heart is going out to everyone that is there right now. Anyone who has been affected by it, which is a lot of people. It's just really, really heartbreaking, especially those Marines who were killed. So heart goes out to you, past, present, or fallen. Thank you. You're not forgotten. Let's get into this and try to lighten this mood up again since I like brought it down a little bit. All right. So the war, the Pacific. Can't even see that, so that's fine. I'm going to flip this box over. Okay. So it says there's 2 dice. So right here we have 10-sided. Yeah, it's 10-sided die because there's a 0. So what do you call that? A dodecahedron? That's not it. Is it? Dodecahedron? A decahedron? I don't know. That's what this one looks like. And then a regular 6-sided die. And we have some cards here. I'm going to flip this because this is how it was in the box like this. And this is all brand new, so nothing has been opened yet. So we're going to open some of this stuff up. Because there's a lot of booklets in this. It said there was, what was there? A 120-page booklet of rules, 35-page full color displays and player aid cards, 40-page booklet of scenarios, 32-page booklet of examples, 40-page booklet of charts. So there's a lot of booklets in this one, which is good because it gives you every little bit of information you need to know how to play, right? But see, Gimpy Scout Guesses is not about reading. It's not about being smart and using your brain to read the rule book and figure out how to play. It's about just taking what you see and figuring it out in your head, right? Just imagining the most beautiful way. Go ahead and cringe at how I'm opening this. I can hear it now. I can hear someone cringing at how I just ripped that off. But yeah, so yeah, lots of booklets in there. So wow, here's the rules of play right here. This one is the 120 page. Yeah. So again, that's what the front of it looks like. That's what the back of it looks like. And there are play testers on the back. Written here down the bottom. Special shout out to those peeps because game testers really are a huge part of making games. Like I've learned over the years of being exposed to the gaming world that there's a lot more to it than just like, oh, I have an idea for a game, let's make it. Like there's a lot more that goes into it. All right, so we have table of contents, and then we go into introduction, sequence of play, logistics, just your typical everything you need to know to play a game book. So there is the rule book. Then we have the charts and tables booklet, which was like 30 something pages. No, 40 pages. So here's the charts. Now, with games like this, I like it because you can make copies of this stuff. So like if you have to use these charts, I don't know if you just put like a counter on them, but I like that you can just make copies of whatever you need. So like back here, you can just, if you have a copier, you can just copy them, make a few copies and reuse it. So I do like that. But there are several of those in the back. And then up here is different charts that you need with different information on it. So there are the charts and tables. Then we have the scenarios, which this one was, oh, that's so pretty in the back. 40 as well, I guess. So here's, look at that. Isn't that really cool in the back? That's Normandy. I'm guessing that's what it looks like to me when they were storming the beaches of Normandy. I just remember, what does it say to Private Ryan? Saving Private Ryan when they're on those boats, and that's just like the image. If I think of Normandy, that's the image that I like think of. But yeah, that's a really, really cool artwork. Like I would hang that in my house. Like that's really beautiful, really powerful. And then it's just got different scenarios in here. And as it said on the back of the box, they could be, the complexity could be an hour, or the length of time to play it could be an hour to 30 plus hours. So there's some pretty in-depth, long scenarios in this. But there's also some quicker ones. So that's a very, very vast range of time it could take you to play. And then this is the examples of play and designer's notes, which is cool. I've seen that a lot more recently in games I've guessed or seen, is a lot more designer notes. And I like that. That's cool because you get to hear from the designer what they intended something to be used for, or how they came up with it, or why they came up with it. It's kind of cool to hear from them, and then it gives you a better understanding of how the game operates or why it operates that way. So there is that. And then on to all the different player aid stuffs and cards. And okay, so we have this deck of cards here. Is there an easy open tab on it? Sometimes there's like a little flippy, yeah, right here it is. See? Easy open. Okay, so we have submarines, espionage, strategic. Oh, these are all like mixed together. Okay. So there's submarine, like ships, and there's espionage, strategic, counter espionage, intelligence points. Sorry, it would help if I was showing you these submarines, and you have all the different flags. So it looks like just a bunch of different cards in no real order. But yeah, they all have different, they're all different. So like this espionage one says assassination, disinformation, double agent, code breaking, trap, radio intercepts, and identity check. So that is a look at the espionage. And then let's look at this American submarine card. Has surface sortie, fast convoy, convoy scatter, carrier escort, battleship escort, long range air patrols, and armed merchantmen. So yeah. These are the cards, which this said there was 106 variant playing cards. So I'm assuming that's what these are. So I'm going to try to put these back in this as neatly as I can because Oh no, why did I do that? That's going to be hard to get these back in. And he's going to be like, why did you take them out? And I'm like, I don't know. I just wanted to see them. Why did I do that? I might not be able to get these back in. Come on, work with me. Oh, come on. There we go. Nope, you're ripping. You're going to go. There's a better place to store these anyway. It's not like it's really the end of the world if I rip this little plastic packaging, but I just wanted it to be put back together the way I found it because that's polite to leave things the way you found them, correct? That's what I teach my kids, so I needed to do the same thing. There we go. Cards are back. All right. So on to the player aids. So we have the War Pacific Terrain Effects chart here. Thought it was ripped there, but it's not. That's just front. So I have terrain, effect on stacking and movement, and then effect on combat. So that's like what you would expect. That makes sense to me, a terrain chart or a terrain effects chart. So we know what the different terrains, how they affect your movement, how they affect the gameplay. That makes sense. The War Pacific Allied Task Force display. So this is for the allies. And that's, again, just the front. Then we have the Japanese Naval Construction. The Japanese Task Force display. And these are all just, little, like, half-page player aids. This one says, we must use every inch of our blood to take back every inch of our land. Chiang Kai-shek, China. I don't know what this is. It says units eliminated out of supply. 1939 starting NARFs. 1940 starting NARFs. Growth rate SMPs, air bases, pops, and rail moves. Don't know what that means. And then on the back, it goes to 1941 starting NARFs, 1942 starting NARFs, and then growth rate SMPs, air bases, pops, and rail moves. So this looks like some type of a counter player aid thing that you keep track of your units on, I'm assuming. Sorry, my allergies are like acting up. My throat's a little bit like scratchy, not like sore, and my nose is like a little runny because we were outside because fall hit us like a ton of bricks one day. I think it was Thursday or Friday, like I woke up and it was like, fall is here. Because it wasn't like miserably hot. I don't know where you guys live. I said miserably, really weird. Miserably. But that's how hot it gets here. So I don't know where everybody's from. Comment below where you're from. But we are in North Carolina. And in North Carolina, the humidity is absolutely sickening. You cannot go outside to take the mail in and you have to change clothes. It's so humid that it's just miserable. You cannot be outside in the summer in North Carolina unless you're at the beach or you're in the pool, because otherwise you're just going to be drenched. You're going to be dehydrated. You're going to just feel disgusting. It's just, the humidity is really what kills you here. It doesn't get that hot. I mean, I'm sure it gets hotter in other places. It gets up in the 90s here. Most summer days it's in the 90s. And the evenings are fine, but it's just that humidity that's just like, ugh. So when fall hits, it doesn't really get a whole lot cooler. It just gets just cool enough. So like mid to late 70s instead of, upper 80s, that it's still hot, but the humidity starts to dissipate a little bit and it just feels nice. And that's where we had the other day. So I was outside and that's why my allergies are acting up, because it hasn't rained in a while. All right, on to the next player aid card. I should have done like a breaking allergy report. Just kidding. All right, so this is the Soviet Union. It says, our Soviet people spared neither strength nor labor for the sake of victory. Joseph Stalin. Soviet Union. And then it says the same thing on this side that the other one did. 1941, 1942. This is the 1941, 1942 Soviet Union. Another like display, keeping track of unit type of a thing, it looks like, because we have units eliminated out of supply. Then we have the War Pacific Scenario 7. So this is a scenario, and this is Scenario 1. Scenario 2 is on the back. Scenario 6 is on the back of that one. So these are some scenarios, some extra ones that I guess are not in the book. I don't know if these are like the solitaire. It doesn't say solitaire. It just says scenario 1 and 2 and 6 and 7. So there's scenarios, and then we have United States. So this is all U.S. units are placed in the U.S. West Coast box unless indicated otherwise below. So here is the United States version of what we saw on those other ones with the units down here. But then there's a bigger area up here for counters, it looks like. And then some more on the back. And the quote on this one is, "We Americans of today, together with our allies, are passing through a period of supreme test." Amen, Roosevelt. That's what it feels like today too, doesn't it, guys? It really, really does. That's so sad. All right. And then we have another scenario. This is scenario 9. This looks like a longer one because it's like a full page. The other one was just a half a page. So here's scenario 9. Just the front, but it's this full thing. And the other ones, as you saw, this is one scenario. Scenario 1. So I could see how this one might be a little bit longer one. That one might be an hour long one. This one might be a 30+ hour long one. We don't know, but that is another scenario. And this is another scenario. This is scenario 12. And it says full global campaign game, 1939 to 1945. Sequence of play, page 1. So this is a 2-page one. So there's that one and this one. This one is like a super duper long one. So this must be the 30+ hour one. That means this one would be like 15 hours because it's just the front part of it. But it says the China incident, 1937 to 1939. That's what this scenario is. The other ones, if you're curious, this one said the Coral Sea, 1942, Midway, 1942, Okinawa, 1945, and Late Gulf, 1944. There we go. Then we have Japan. So again, down here for the units. And then a place for, looks like planes and ships and things to go up here. Our nation must overcome painful hardships in order to win this war. Hideki Tojo, Japan. So front and back of that. That one's not folded, but some of the other ones were. So that's weird. This is the British naval construction. Britain can only build naval units if it builds a shipyard at Sydney. And here we have the naval construction, like chart, the British naval construction chart, I guess, or table. And that's just the front. Nothing on the back. Then we have, there's lots of player aids, if you remember. This is Britain. What kind of a people do they think we are? We shall never cease to preserve against them. Not preserve, persevere against them. Winston Churchill. So this is Britain's player aid table chart thing for the units. And then this one has breakdowns on the bottom. And this one had SW units right here on the bottom. Then we have card matrices. I'm probably saying that wrong. I want to say matrix, but it's not what that is. It looks like matrices, I don't know. Strategic Air Command, espionage. So those are all the different cards I was telling you about. Anti-submarine warfare, naval attacker, submarines, counter-espionage, interceptors, and naval defender. And then at the bottom it says, must have at least one undepleted CV-NAC with his naval force to play this card. And then it references the rule that is associated with. And on the back, it just says unit types. And then it's breaking down, I guess, the different units and explaining the counters and what the different numbers mean on them. And then we have, looks like some more scenarios. So this is scenario 11, turning point, 1942 to 1943. And this one is a front and back. So there's that scenario. Scenario 10, campaign game, 1941 to 45. This one is another one that's front and back. Then we have Pacific Air errata sheet as of August 25th. So must be some updates to the rules or something. Yeah, like corrections. Because mistakes happen, so that's cool. They put this in there so it, I guess, makes some corrections to some things and it tells you what you're looking at and what it should say. So that is also in there. Very important. That should be like the top of the stack. Another scenario here, scenario 5, is Eastern Solomons, 1942. And then on the back is scenario 4, Guadalcanal, 1942 to 1943. And then scenario 8, Ichigo, 1944. That one sounds cool, Ichigo. That's just the front one. And then scenario 3, Changsha, 1939. Another one that's just on the front. Then we have U.S. entry level, Britain, U.S. Soviets, Army, Air. That's another type of table chart, something. Game turn track. So like this one seems pretty self-explanatory. It's the game turn track, and we have spring, summer, fall, and winter. Yay. SMP's staging limits, victory points, and rail moves track. And then you have different sections down here. You have a submarine war, strategic bombing war, Urals, India, Canada, South Africa, Panama Canal, and United States. And that's just a front. Player 8 again. Then we have naval and naval air battle card for the Allied, the Japanese, and then at the bottom, no surprise, and then steps and surprise achieved. What happens? And that one is again just the front. Then we have Allied powers, colonies, and satellites, NARF bases and levels. Japanese colonies and satellites, NARF bases and levels. Neutral sympathizer and associate minor countries. Chinese nationalist sympathizer provinces. And that's just the front. Also, my voice is getting like, because I'm reading so much. Minor countries force pool. We have Communist China, Dutch East Indies, Free India, Manchukuo, Mongolia, which my son has been obsessed with recently. He keeps asking us about Mongolia every day. I'm telling you, that kid is a genius. Philippines, Thailand, Vichy, Indochina. No idea what that is. Reorganized Rock, Indonesia, State of Burma. And this says minor countries force poll. And that's just the front. Then we have global strat moves, map outline. So this is some type of a strategy thing, I'm guessing. It says global strat moves or air flights. I don't know. That's cool. It's a map. And then we have, looks like the actual game maps here. So here is one. I will try my best not to rip it because it is that very easily rippable poster material. So there is, it's just the front, or just one-sided. So there is this one. It just says British Pitcairn is, or island, I guess that's what this is down here. So we have New Zealand, just a bunch of islands it looks like, in the Pacific, I guess. And look at that. Boom, folded that up beautifully. So there's one map. Then we have this map here, which looks like these. We have Australia, the Outback, rail movement only. And then we have China, all that stuff up here. So we have China, Thailand, Dutch Borneo, Dutch New Guinea. All right. And the counters. I'm not going to open this up because I feel like I'm going to lose them if I do, but these are some of the counters here. I'll just open it up because people like to look at the counters. I thought I just heard one of my kids yell. And that gives me anxiety because my husband don't do so well with the loud noises. Mommies have far more patience, I feel like, than daddies do. And it makes me like, oh no, my babies are getting in trouble. I need to protect them. Not like protect them, but like, I don't like it when they get in trouble because I'm the soft one. But anyway, I thought I heard them, but I probably didn't. My mommy ears play tricks on me sometimes. Like I'll be laying in bed at night and I'll think I hear one of them crying. And so I'll go check and they're sound asleep. So it's like mommy brains can like hear things that have to do with your kids that aren't real. All right, so here is counter sheet 1. It says the British, and we have a whole lot of stuff that I'm not going to read, but I'll show you quickly front and back of these counter sheets. So there's 1. We have counter sheet 2 is the Soviets. And see, I just lost those, which is why I did not want to open them. Why did I do that? Come on, go back in. We're just going to leave that right there. Counter 3 is Chinese. I'm going to try to be very delicate with these because they are ready to pop out. See? See? Cringe now. Oh, it's so bad. I think I can get them back in enough to not pop out though. Japanese is the 4th one. I'm just going to gently tip them over like that. The 5th one is another Japanese. I'm sorry that I'm not holding them up closer, but I don't want them to all pop out. Another Japanese one is the 6th counter sheet. You can pause it and zoom in if you want to really get a good look at them. The 7th one is American. The 8th one is also American. And the 9th one is American as well. And then we have counter sheet 10, says markers. So those must be just like universal markers. But there is the game. So that took a while to go through. Let's just get this back in so I don't lose anything. If you ask me how to play this, I could not tell you at all. There's so much to this that I have no idea. If I guessed who, I know that it's like the Allies and, you know, the bad guys and all that stuff because it's got all those people in it. It's World War II, so it's 1940 or 1939. The front of the box says 1941 to 45, but some of the scenarios were from 1939, so it's 1939 to 1945. Yeah. And it's in the Pacific. And it's a war game. So I couldn't really tell you much more beyond that. There's submarines and planes involved, so it's not just one or the other, both, because both were in the real war. It's a historically based game. Looks like it's pretty accurately based on what happened in history. So I would assume that the scenarios are probably historically accurate or based on history at least. But yeah, I could not tell you how to play this, so this isn't really a good guesses. More of a, let me show you all the stuff that's in the game and make myself look like an idiot. But you guys get to see the game before he gets his hands on it. So it's still fun. I hope you guys still enjoy it. But I'm sorry that I couldn't give you more of a guess. It's a war game. You're playing against, you know, you're either the Allies or you're the other ones, the Soviets, and you're either winning or losing. And that's how you play. So it's pretty simple. I mean, hello. I'm pretty sure I just gave you like the easiest, most simple explanation of how to play this game ever. If you can't play based off of what I just told you, then you should not be playing war games, because my breakdown of these rules right now that I just said, which is you play against someone who's not yourself and you either win or you lose, and that doesn't tell you how to play this game, then wake up. Just kidding. But anyways, that was my opening The War by Compass Games, the Pacific, specifically 1941 to 1945. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are staying safe and sane, and you are all doing well and wonderful. It's so good to be back in front of the camera again to see, well, not to see you, but for you to see me. To talk to you, to say hello, because it's been a while, but hopefully we'll be getting more into a pattern now that the baby's a little older and things are getting a little more into a pattern or a routine. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Give me treats. Give me treats. I hear someone crying. I gotta go.